Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Apples and Ginos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is week 12 of Trade Talks. My name is Ryan, and I'm joined by Evan. Today, we'll be providing some trade grades on some real trades, highlighting some players on our wish list, and providing one special player some presents. Here we go. All right, welcome in everybody on this eve of Christmas. So, we might not get as many comments as usual. People are probably doing some stuff instead of spending all their time podcasting about fantasy hockey, like myself and my friend Evan over here. Evan, back to back, how you feeling?
Pretty good. It's like when they start a goalie back to back, you just got to power through it, but trying to put up that shutout. But happy to be here with you, man. It's around the holidays, so everything's busier, but the real managers stay focused on the task at hand, which is winning at fantasy hockey. Isn't that right?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I believe in back to backs. I think if you have a good goalie, you should play him 82 games. So that's what we're doing here with Evan.
There you go. Ride the workhorse there.
Yep. All right. So you want to take us into some new newsies on this beautiful evening?
Absolutely. So we got Brandon Montour. The Seattle defense is really crumbling before our eyes here. Montour is out for 4 weeks after undergoing a hand procedure, they said. And then Vince Dunn left Monday's game and did not return. I actually saw a clip of him like smashing his stick and throwing like a bag down the tunnel. It's kind of funny. So this just means Riker Evans is probably going to be PP1, I would assume, for tonight's game. So nice little stream for him. And then going into Sunday, I believe they have that game. So it'll be interesting to see how he does with them out. And I don't know what Vince Dunn's timeline will be for return. He has had injury history in the past, so we'll kind of follow that. The Maple Leafs fire Mark Savard. I kind of wanted to get your take on this, Ryan, as I did to Nate. So today the GM came out and said that, he has I don't know what the exact quote was, the utmost faith in Craig Berube. I don't believe that any Toronto Maple Leafs fan does, but what's your take on this?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good move. He was in charge of the power play. Power play was dead last, or close to dead last. But there's more to do. I think they should, in my opinion, as a biased Leafs fan, Craig Berube, he turned a high flying, dynamic offense into a team that shoots 20 shots a game and just gives up the most shots in the league. So that's not what I want from teams with high talent players like Matthews and Nylander, even Tavares, and some other skilled guys. Max Domi had a great goal today, and it's just like let them loose, and that's not Craig Berube's style. So that's my biased take on the Leafs right now.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I feel like a lot of these teams, they bring in certain coaches to induce their system on the players instead of like tailoring the system to the players that they have, right? Like look at what Joel Quenneville's done for the Ducks, and how successful that's been. Like, why can't they bring in somebody that can unleash Austin Matthews and Willie Nylander and Tavares? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me either, but I'm not a diehard Leafs fan, and I was thankful to not have any Leaf shares anywhere this year yet.
Yeah. Leafs, they were 0 for 2 on the power play tonight with no power play coach. So looks like they do need someone to help them out.
Yeah, and I mean they did beat the Penguins 6-3, and of course I went up against Willie Nylander in several spots, so that's amazing.
Oh, of course.
Leo Carlson is day-to-day with a lower body injury. They said that they don't believe it to be a long-term or serious thing, but he was out, so something to monitor. Will Smith remains week to week, even though they did say that his rehab was going well. So we'll see how that kind of looks after the Christmas break. Sorokin was also dealing with nagging injury, they said. So they opted with David Riddick today in today's game. Not something you really want to hear as a Sorokin owner, just because, I mean, it sounds like this was ongoing. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a continued chronic issue, but we'll kind of see how that unfolds too. And then Ryan Leonard returns, and I was not savvy or awake enough to snag him in several spots before others did. And of course, in today's game, I believe he has 2 assists, 1 on the power play. So really good stuff for Ryan Leonard. So if he's still out there on your wire, go grab him. I think you'll like this too, Ryan, is that I had a nice little bet on him at plus 10,000 to win the Calder back before he got injured. So I think that could easily hit.
Yeah, or have some good cash out value near the end of the season. Yeah, he's on the top power play, and his minutes are just, before he got injured, they were just feeding him extra minutes compared to what he was getting in the early season. So really like Leonard. He was one of my trade targets real early in dynasty leagues when he was like on the third line and not doing anything. And I was like, yeah, just wait. And he's exploding. So good for him. Next up, we have some more newsies. Last night in Philly, Dvorak and Dan Vladar returned. Dvorak scored a goal. He's still playing on that top line with Zegras and Konechny. And tonight, that game hasn't started yet. We're hoping for some more goals, as Evan and I have both been streamed in some spots. Bo Horvat is supposedly targeting a Saturday return, so that will be good for the Islanders. Him and Sorokin probably get back in there Saturday and or Sunday. I think they have a back-to-back there. Supposedly Elias Pettersson has tweaked his injury, so they're holding him out through Christmas, and they'll reevaluate things in the next weekend. And Connor Ingram, he gets a back-to-back start in Edmonton, not back-to-back in terms of a night right after the other, but he gets 2 starts in a row for Edmonton here against the Flames tonight, and we'll see if he can find similar success that he found against the Golden Knights last game. What do you think about Connor Ingram? You keeping an eye on him?
Someone snagged him in a spot. What's funny is I'm more concerned about Tristan Jarry because I was savvy enough to pick him up when he was on the Penguins and held him once he got traded and was parading around my fantasy leagues. And then he opts to get hurt after 3 games. But yeah, I mean, Ingram he actually looked okay. I didn't look at his like underlyings in terms of goals saved above expected in that game or anything like that, but he looked pretty solid in that, especially compared to Pickard. So, and if you're playing for Edmonton, he should get some wins nonetheless, especially if they're scoring 6-7 goals a game with McDavid on this tear. So yeah, I definitely have some interest in streaming. I think they said Tristan Jarry was weeks. So, a few weeks, I think the quote was. So, maybe he might be back sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, yeah, he's definitely worth a stream.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have a rookie, Nick Lardy. He was on the top power play unit at today's practice in Chicago. We'll see if that sticks in tonight's game. But this is a prospect. He's only played 4 games. He scored a goal last game, and he is really a goal scorer. He had 71 goals in 65 games in the OHL last year, and he already has 13 goals and 13 assists in 24 games in the AHL this year. So someone to keep an eye on. He is a left shot, so across from Bedard, I think that would be really interesting to see. And if things gel well, he might be a waiver wire pickup very soon for you. Yeah, and then unfortunately, Seth Jarvis and Jacob Slavin are still week to week in Carolina. Today they were running Ehlers, Aho, and Jackson Blake as a top line, and we'll see if Rob Brindamore gives his stars some more minutes or just gives his 4th line more minutes, like he loves to do. And last night, Werenski was out, and Matejchuk was on the top power play and picked up 1 or 2 power play points. I think it was 1. He did. Yeah, 1 power play point with Marchenko and Fantilli. Werenski is likely to return as soon as Columbus is back on Saturday. So nothing really to take advantage of right now, but something to keep an eye on in the future if Werenski has some lingering injuries. And with that, we are getting to some trade targets. But this special edition, it's a wish list. And if you're on the YouTube, you could see I made up a great wish list so far. We have apples, Ginos, beefers, trades, and streams. And we have 2 guys that we want to add to our wish list. But before we do that, we do have a comment. Someone is spending some time with us during the holidays instead of their family. We have Andy Chuck, 22, in first place of his Bankers Cats League. Thoughts on trading away Genther for Adam Fox? Evan, would you do that?
That's tough without knowing the Cats and without knowing his current team setup. Man, that's tough. I would lean towards yes. I'm a big believer in Adam Fox, and he's still, when healthy, a really great defenseman, but he does not get any type of bangers, Cat, so that's tough there. Gunther is still going to get tons of goals. I'm assuming that he needs a defender while he's willing to trade away Gunther. I just have to assume that. And if that's the case, then I would. If for whatever reason he has decent defense and, his forwards are a little bit less, then I wouldn't do it because Gunther is still going to provide the shots and goals, power play points.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think that's a great move. Adam Fox, I think he was nearing return. He was on long-term injured reserve, but then he was skating in a regular jersey at practice. He is not playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken, but he could be back as soon as Saturday. So that's good news, and maybe his owner doesn't know that yet. So I would take Adam Fox over Genther at this point in the season. Yeah. All right, on our wish list, Evan, who you adding to your wish list?
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, and I know you're going to correct me on this, but I am once again banging on the drum that is Luke Hughes. He is officially PP1 after, of course, when I trade him away in a spot, after preaching to hold him for months and months. I still do have him in a few other spots, but yeah, I think this is it. I think, we're around 30 games into the season. This is kind of what has happened last year as well. Like, he kind of took off in the second half when Dougie got injured. Dougie is irrelevant. He hasn't had a point in a stone's age. It's crazy how inefficient Dougie has been. He's playing better defensively, but he's doing nothing offensively, and he's PP2. So Jack Hughes is back. He mysteriously appeared and just played a game and scored a goal. And I think with, Jack being back, Timo is back, Luke is on PP1. I think this is the last chance you're going to get to buy low on him based on, his current production. I think pace rest of season, you could be looking at kind of like a Lane Hudson comparison in my mind. I think he doesn't have the same ability to generate offense on even strength necessarily, but on the power play, if they get rolling, he definitely will. So I really like Luke Hughes right now. If you could send, look at what John Klingberg did recently, especially against me in my more recent matchup. He dangled Sidney Crosby at the blue line to score an OT winner. It was ridiculous. I've never seen anything so ridiculous in my life. Rasmus Anderson, trade Rasmus Anderson while he's producing for Luke Hughes. Like, any of these kind of middle tier defensemen, or even like a higher performing like winger, maybe like a Tyler Bertuzzi or somebody that, got off to a hot start, Morgan Geeky. And you can trade for Luke Hughes. And I think rest of season pace for him, I wouldn't be shocked if it's like a 65 plus point pace with really good power play points. And I think that Dougie is going to be moved by the trade deadline. So correct me on this, Ryan. I know you have thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think it's good to add this to your wish list. You are wishing for very hopeful things. I if I owned him, I would wish for the same, but I'm a little more worried on Luke Hughes than you. It seems great opportunity on power play 1, but what I didn't like is in the last game they only had one power play opportunity, and Luke Hughes got off the ice at a minute 05, and for Dougie Hamilton again, and they were rolling kind of a split power play with. I think it was Meyer was on power play 2 with Gritsiuk, which is pretty good as a power play 2, and Dougie, I guess. So I'm not fully convinced they're going to run a full power play 1 unless it has Timo Meyer on it. And yeah, so I'm a little more concerned about Luke Hughes, but again, Klingberg, Anderson, in my opinion, these are waiver level players, and Luke Hughes might be considered a waiver level players in a lot of people's eyes. So I think that in terms of a trade target, yeah, if you can get rid of Klingberg, Anderson, maybe even Levshinov or Zellweger or Jacob Trouba, I would rather have Luke Hughes. So I'm with you there.
I think that's the part of it for me, is that I don't think you're going to have to give up that much to get him still. But I think once he starts to put up some points here and Jack Hughes is back and he starts riding his brother's train, I think that buy low window is going to be gone. But this is in fact a wish list, Ryan, as you said. So I'm wishing for these things as a Luke Hughes owner, but I also still believe, and I think he is a good buy low trade target still.
Yeah. All right. I got a similar one. And he is another player. I probably talked about him as well, but we have Nikolai Ehlers on my wish list as a trade target. His value right now is super low in terms of just ranks. Like he's 140th in APL settings right now. But there are some signs of late. His shot rates have been increasing of late. And he is one of the leaders in shot attempts, and he just keeps hitting people's feet and keeps missing the net. And I think that his luck will change, and his shot on goal to shot attempt rate will improve, alongside his shooting percentage, which I'm still waiting for his shooting percentage to improve, both at even strength and on the power play. And his on ice shooting percentage as well. His teammates' shooting percentage is pretty low at 9.3. And what does he have right now at even strength? His shooting percentage is 9.2. And last year on Winnipeg, it was 13%. The year prior was 12.25. So I do think we could see that increase as his shot rates are pretty similar to last year on Winnipeg. And all this to say, Seth Jarvis just gave him a great opportunity for the next 4 weeks to do something about some better deployment. In this game, again, like I said, he's playing with Aho and Jarvis. They did go with 11 forwards tonight, and sorry, not Jarvis, Jackson Blake. And they had some weird line shuffling. Aho was playing with Ehlers most of the game, but he was moved to play with like Stankoven and Martinook at one moment. So something to keep an eye on, but just increased opportunity for Ehlers with Seth Jarvis out. Evan, what do you think?
I would tend to agree that, especially with Seth Jarvis out, Nikolai Ehlers is going to have an elevated role. It did concern me that they had him on PP2 in favor of Jackson Blake a lot recently. And I think they were scoring more power play goals, so there was really no reason to change it. I also don't like the fact that he's really been cemented on that second line with Stankoven and Blake, but I still think he's a very valuable player in a lot of leagues. And I think, like you said, for what you could give up to get him, and he's got a good playoff schedule, like you said, I think there's more in the tank for Ehlers. The biggest thing that concerns me is the Rod Brindamore factor, for sure.
Yeah. And again, similar to your Luke Hughes wish list, for me, it's like, who can you give up to get Nick Ehlers? And just looking at like season stats, I would give up Beckett Seneca. I would give up Brock Nelson. I'd give up Jordan Eberle. These are all players who are currently ranked above Nick Ehlers. And maybe a manager is fed up with Ehlers and his 55-point pace and doesn't believe that a 65-point pace is possible. But I do think that, for the latter half of the season, we could see more than 35 points from Ehlers, and that would put him right in the top 80 to top 100 range. And if you can give up a player like Seneca or Nelson, I'd do that in a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. A few more comments here. Another person spending some time with us, Ryan Rundhawa. Hello. Nice to see you in here with us. He's got a Cats League. McKinnon and Genther for McDavid, Stützle, and Byfield. Oh, that's an interesting one. I'm going to save that. It's a 17 team league. Ryan, we have put this trade in our trade grade, so we're going to go over it for you. So don't you worry. All right. And now we are getting into our trade grades. So if you don't know, get into the Discord and you can submit your completed trades for us to provide our grades on and really talk about all the players involved. So get in the Discord and submit your trades in the Trade Talks mailbag. Evan, we got trade number 1. You want to take us away here with this 17-team Cats League that Ryan Rundhawa was asking us about?
Yeah, Ryan, you didn't have to wait too long. So here we go. 17-team Cats League. That's a massive league. We're giving away Nathan McKinnon and Dylan Guenther, and we're receiving Connor McDavid, Tim Stützle, and Quentin Byfield.
Yeah. So I'm up first here. We're not given the exact cats. Ryan, if you are if you are in here and you want to provide some cats, I'm just going to assume kind of standard bangers cats with no pims. I'm giving this one a C plus. I think this is a crazy blockbuster and would be really fun to happen in a league, and I think it's pretty fair. But I'm not giving up Nathan McKinnon, even though McDavid's coming my way. Guenther and McKinnon for McDavid and Stützle. I do think Stützle is the better option at the moment in terms of current production, but I think that Guenther has more in the tank, and by the end of the season, we'll probably see Guenther and Stützle similarly ranked, and Byfield for me is not doing anything here. So I got to keep McKinnon, but it's close. I gave it a C plus. I would consider it for sure, but I am not doing this one. Evan.
Yeah, I view this very similarly. I think the biggest thing here is I think we're both kind of in the same boat of being McKinnon over McDavid, despite what McDavid is doing recently. I just think McKinnon has proven he's that guy in fantasy hockey. He's going to be getting the goal. He's going to be in the empty net situation. McDavid has had an incredible run over the past several weeks, and he is really showing why people would draft him over McKinnon. I still just believe by year's end that McKinnon is going to have more fantasy points. He's going to do more for your team. So I still think I would have McKinnon over McDavid. It's getting closer, though. McDavid's making a really good argument for it and showing why he's the best actual real-life player in the league. And I agree with your assessment of Guenther and Stützle as well. Stützle is doing a little bit better right now, but I think Gunther's goal totals are going to come up, power play points are going to come up, and by season's end, Guenther is going to be more valuable than Stützle. So for that reason, I would not do the trade, but I can understand the managers like wanting to do the trade with how Stützle is performing and McDavid like right now. I understand the allure of it, but I think I still would not do it.
Yeah, and like for me, it was real close. But in my opinion, this is just like, who would you rather have first overall? If you're going to take McDavid, you'll do this trade. If you're going to take McKinnon, you probably won't. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, I you nailed it. Like if you took, McKinnon, then stick with McKinnon. Like don't just like go with McDavid on a hot streak. Like I don't think he's going to be I don't know what he's averaging over the past like 2-3 weeks, like something like crazy, like probably 3 points a game. But I just don't think that's going to happen. It's nice that Hyman's back and healthy and helping out too and everything. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe McDavid's, they traded for Jari and then he got injured. And now he's like, well, I for sure have to score 7 goals a game all by myself. So, this is just what's going to have to happen if we need to win. But that steam's going to run out if they have to do it game in, game out.
Yeah, agreed. All right, into our second trade on the trade grades. We have a 10-team points league. Goals are 2.5, assists are 1.5, power play points and shorties are 1.1, extra for game-winning goal 1 point, and shots, hits, and blocks are all 0.3. And this is submitted by B. Phils. He is giving away Brian Rust, who is only right-wing eligible, and he's getting Matthew Nyes, who's only left-wing eligible. Some extra context. He had a lot of right wings and basically just wanted another left wing here. He had Marner, Nietzsche, Raymond, and Rust, and he only had one straight left wing in Fiala, so he had some extra room on the left side. So giving away Brian Rust, receiving Matthew Nyes. Evan.
Yeah, I like this trade. A- for me. I would do this trade. Brian Rust has been doing pretty decent lately. He had a goal in today's game. He's top line, top power play with Crosby. I really do like Brian Rust, but in terms of just getting that positional equivalent, I think Matthew Nyes is a really good equivalent. And I also think that the Leafs right now, like I think today was he on line 3. It was kind of disappointing to see him where he was put in the lineup. I don't think that sticks, but I think the Leafs are at their lowest. Like, it can only go up from here, and I think that Nyes, despite that, has produced. So I think that, if they start to pick it up, he should as well. So yeah, I really like this trade.
Right on. Yeah, I'm a little lower here. I gave this a B. I would do it in that scenario. I think it's a great trade. You need a left wing, and you have too many right wings. Maybe you're benching Rust. So I would do this trade. I think it's a good trade. But in terms of Matthew Nyes, things are worrisome for me with Matthew Nyes. He's really not shooting the puck, and his shooting percentage has come way down from last season. And yeah, with that third line deployment tonight, I was not expecting that. I still expect Nyes to be right up there in the top 6 on the top power play. And I would agree with you that the third line deployment will not stick. But this guy only has 7 goals this season. Is it? Yeah, seven goals so far. He scored how many goals did he score last year? Yeah, 29 goals last year. He is on a 18 goal pace right now. So I think things have returned back to earth for Nyes. I think last year was a little lucky for him, even though he had great deployment. I'm just a little worried that Nyes might just be a like a less than 30 goal scorer pace the rest of the way. I think if you're expecting anything more, I would rather have Rust. All right, Evan.
Trade 3. This one kind of hurts my heart reading it, but 10-team cacuffle points submitted by Ryan382. We're giving away Morgan Geekie and Luke Hughes. Oh, God. And receiving JT Miller and Adam Fox.
Yeah. So this one, I'm giving an A. You have to do this. Morgan Geekie, as much as we like him or Evan thinks that he's going to score 100 goals this season, it's just not going to happen. And then Luke Hughes, as much as he's on Evan's wish list, you're getting Adam Fox, who could be he has the potential to be a top 5 fantasy defenseman if all things go well. And if they don't, he's still a top 10 fantasy defenseman. Luke Hughes, his ceiling might be a top 10 fantasy defenseman. And then, yeah, give me JT Miller over Morgan Geekie, even with the injury here. I really like Miller. He was doing some good things before he got injured, and again, the Rangers have a great playoff schedule, so loading up on those are great for me.
I give it an A+. So I give this trade an A+. I would absolutely smash accept. Getting Adam Fox and JT Miller from Morgan Geekie and Luke Hughes is highway robbery. Yeah, I mean, I'm really high on both of the players being given away, but you're getting such extreme value back. Adam Fox is a probably top 7, if not top 5 fantasy defenseman. And then JT Miller, it is weird with JT Miller. I don't know what to expect rest of season, even when he comes back from injury. I don't know that we're still going to see like the 90-plus point pace JT Miller that we thought we were going to see. Probably closer to like a 60-point pace, or maybe 60 to 70 if things get rolling. But still very helpful for his category coverage. He'll get you points in a lot of ways with peripherals as well. So really good trade all around. So yeah, despite Morgan Geekie going to be scoring 100 goals. So I've made a few bets in a lot of places, both personal and on some actual apps on Morgan Geekie totals, Ryan. So nice. Let's get into some more comments too. Oh, sorry, you have something else to say? Some more praise from Morgan Geekie?
Yeah, just like I had a goal total over 20.5 goals that cashed 30 games in. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty easiest bet you ever made. Yeah. And then it's for all the Morgan Geekie haters. Well, he's shooting 30%. When is it going to stop? He has had the most goals in the calendar year, people, and I just I don't get it. I don't get it either. I don't understand how somebody can have this unsustainably high of a shooting percentage and be left wide open half the time. But I do believe that he's going to cool down. The question is how much and when. But you ride the train until the wheels fall.
Yeah, if you include tonight, which the game's almost over, that's 2 straight games with 0 points for Morgan Geekie. I think the wheels are falling off. What are we doing?
Yeah, Boston has not played well, but we'll see. Yeah, no, it's might be the beginning of the end. But as soon as we say that, you're going to see a Morgan Geeky goal. So,
Yeah.
um, Darren 0719 Bangers Cats traded Johnston, Heischer, Trennan for Matthews, Velarde, and Hart. Needed a good average. Needed a good goalie. He followed up with. I'll throw it to you, Ryan. What do you think?
Yeah. Just ignoring the goalie for a second. Yeah, no, I don't like this trade. I don't think Carter Hart is your solution in that Bangers Cats league. So if it's like standard Cats and it's wins, goals against average, save percentage, shutouts, um, yeah, I don't think you need to pay up to get Carter Hart. Carter Hart was available on waivers, and there's going to be plenty more opportunities of goalies like that. So I wouldn't really pay anything for Carter Hart, and then you're getting Matthews and Velarde for Johnston, Heischer, and Trennan. And in a Bangers Cats league, you have the hits leader, who's actually valuable in a Bangers Cats league. So Yakov Trennan actually has some value, and that's just too much for Matthews, who is very frustrating. And I don't think he's going to return to, a 100-point player this season with the current Leaf setup.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't know how much I'm giving up for Matthews anywhere. I know he's like a buy low. Everyone says he's a buy low, but how low can he get? I mean, I know he's still like putting up the periffs, but yeah, I mean, the Leafs score 6 goals tonight and he has nothing. Like that is abysmal. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't know how much I'm actually giving up for Austin Matthews at this point. Let's see. Ryan, who back? Josh Doan and Trevor Zegras for Hintz and Zuccarello. Cats, goals, assists, power play points, shots, blocks, and hits, or a Zegras for Hintz trade. Zegras for Hintz, I would do in a heartbeat just to get access to that Dallas power play. And Roope Hintz has actually been really good and a part of that, playing with Jason Robertson at even strength as well. And then I think if you throw in Josh Doan for Zuccarello, like Zuccarello has probably a little bit more value to me over Josh Doan just to access to Kaprizov and the power play points now. But I think either way I would do the trade. Ryan, you?
Yeah, I agree there. Even though the Dallas stuff is from the preseason. It's just in my mind. I'm like, no, I can't like Dallas players, but I can't ignore I can't ignore what Dallas is doing, and that's given their top 6 all the minutes, and that includes Rupee Hintz. So I might have to wear that hat sometime soon.
Wyatt Johnston power play goal. We just saw it, Ryan, which will put him at the league lead with 14 and also more than the Toronto Maple Leafs as a team.
Wow. Look at that. Well, good for them. Yeah.
Nothing else to say about that. Moving on. D Stu targeting a New York Ranger for playoffs. Schmaltz / Barzell plus Carlson for Miller. Opens up a streamer spot. Goodbye low. Which forward do you offer first? Points bangers with Pims and face-off wins. Schmaltz / Barzell plus Carlson. So I'm assuming he means one of these as an option, or is he saying all 3? Yeah, no way.
No, he's probably saying like choose one of Schmaltz and Barzell to go with
easily Schmaltz for me. So I would send Schmaltz, and I'm assuming he's talking about Leo Carlson.
No,
or John.
There's only one S in there, so I'm gonna assume John.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say if it's Leo Carlson, I would not do it, but yeah, if it's John Carlson and Schmaltz for JT Miller, yeah, I definitely love that.
Yeah, especially with like some weight for Pims and face-off wins, love that.
Yeah, absolutely, very good. We can get into the next trade here too, Ryan.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, we got trade number 4. This is a Cats league. This one's submitted by Luco Rani, and the Cats are goals, assists, plus minus, power play points, shorthanded points, shots on goal, and game-winning goals. So it's a Cats league without hits, without blocks, and it does have plus minus. We are giving away Jason Robertson, and we are receiving Kirill Marchenko and Adam Fox. And I am giving this one a D-. I just don't know how you can do this. I'm a Dallas fan now, guys. I am a Dallas Stars fan. I think Rantanen is going to get 150 points. That's what's going to happen. And yeah, Jason Robertson, for me, you can't give this guy up in this league, especially with plus minus. That Robertson has the edge over Marchenko, and the shots on goal and no other peripherals. That's a league where Robertson's going to crush things, especially with game-winning goals. Like Robertson, he's going to score enough goals. Game-winning goals, I think, are a little random, but I think Robertson will end up with many of those this season. So yeah, just not getting enough back for Jason Robertson in Marchenko and Adam Fox. As much as we like Adam Fox, you can't give up a top 10 player in this league in Jason Robertson. And that's why I'm giving it a D plus. I mean, a D minus, close to an F, but not quite an F. Evan.
B minus. So strangely enough, depending on the scenario, I would make this trade. I know it sounds crazy because I've given up Jason Robertson in a spot and I feel horrible about it. And I'm desperately clawing to get him back. I'm a big Marchenko believer. I think it's weird because his shots have really fallen off. He was part of puzzling players that Nate and I went over yesterday. I really do think he's going to get back to 35 to 40 goal pace, 70 point plus pace. I think their power play in Columbus needs to get going. Their offense had completely dried up and they were shuffling the lines around. I think if they can just get back to business and, I really like them to put Marchenko back with Monahan and Voronkov because that line is really the solid line. I know everyone wants Fantilli top line. You can leave Fantilli on the top power play, but put him second line with some speedsters. I really, and Adam Fox is, again, like I said, a top 7, top 5 defenseman. So I think you're getting a return. To your point, could you get more for Jason Robertson? I think so. But I do think you're getting a very serviceable winger in Kirill Marchenko that could put up, again, very reliable numbers. Like if you're looking at, a 35 goal, 70 point player, and then also getting a, 70 point defenseman, like for Jason Robertson, I think that's okay. I don't think it's great. You're giving up the best player in the deal. And Jason Robertson, again, is pacing for 90 to 100 plus points and, 40 plus goals. Like it's insane, but, I can see the rationale behind it. I don't like it. I don't love this trade by any means, but I think I would consider doing it.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. In my opinion, like, I just think me and you probably disagree a bit on Marchenko. He's on a 69 point pace. Last year was a 77 point pace. And I do think last year things went too right for him. He has increased his shots a bit, but his shooting percentage has gone down, as well as some on ice stuff. And I think a 70 point Marchenko is like, that's what I'm expecting the rest of the way, and that's kind of what he's done so far. So I just wouldn't expect more than that, but it sounds like you would, right?
I do. I think he has more to give. I think he is that talented. I think that Columbus has just been, as a team, in a really bad offensive place. Although they add Mason Marchman, and all of a sudden, he's Jason Robertson on Columbus. So
yes. Yeah, really. All right, into our next trade number 5. On brand here with talking about Kirill the Thrill Marchenko. Can we call him that? Are we allowed?
I guess, yeah. Phil's done. So
yeah. So this is a Cats league with goals, assists, power play points, shorthanded points, hits, and blocks. So kind of an opposite Cats league to the other one. This one has no plus minus, has no shots on goal, no game-winning goals, and it actually does have hits and blocks and shorties. This is submitted by LA26. And he wants to give away Rickard Rakell and receive Kirill Marchenko. For me, sorry, this is not me. This is Evan. You're up.
Yeah, I give this an A minus. I would definitely do this trade. I know a lot of people are high on Rickard Rakell for his category coverage, periffs, etc. I'm concerned about him getting traded, and then he would lose value to wherever he goes, not get the same minutes, not get the same power play share, and be playing with Sidney Crosby. And I think Kirill Marchenko has more to give, and I think that he is the better individual player and goal scorer, and a much better cemented situation with his line deployment and power play share. So I would definitely do this and give it an A minus.
Yeah, nice. I would give it a B minus. So I would do this trade, but I'm just doing this trade. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Rickard Rakell. especially since returning from injury. He's just shooting the puck a ton, and his on ice numbers are great as well. The only thing that's really like concerning, as you said, is what if he gets traded, and then what if he's on the third line, second power play? All of a sudden, he's not going to be as valuable. And especially with Pittsburgh, they have a 5-game playoff week in what might be the semifinals for some and finals for others. And that, like, if Pittsburgh still has Rickard Rakell, Sidney Crosby, Brian Rust,
ridiculously
I would love
valuable.
All 3 of those for that week. And yeah, if I was assured that Rickard Rakell was staying on the Pens, I think I'd give us a C+, and I don't think I would do this with the category coverage in this league of hits, blocks, shorties as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I also like it's what if Rickard Rakell gets traded to Columbus? Then we're really in a bind. No, yeah, his name has been shopped around even before this year too. So I have like high suspicion that he's going to get dealt, especially with Pittsburgh already moving. Like Jari, they are very clearly like going to do stuff now. But at least in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like Crosby always, whenever they ask Crosby questions about, management and trades and rebuilding, he's like, I'm here to win games. What are you guys talking
rebuild?
About? Yeah. So I think Crosby would be like, what are you doing? You're not trading Ricky Rax or Brian Russ. Keep my line together.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Trade number 6 here. Evan, you want to take us away?
Yeah, real quick. We had one more comment too. Brutal Wolf, hey guys, what do you think of Jake Gensel versus Keller? It's a dynasty league with goals at 1.5, assists 1, hits and blocks are 0.1. So goals are only 0.5 more than an assist. I think I go Keller here, especially dynasty. What do you think, Ryan?
I gotta check Jake Gensel's age real quick.
He is, I believe, he must be 30 or 31.
He's 31. Yeah. I would go Keller, just for the
Keller's
age.
What,
like
26?
I believe so. Yeah. So you're getting 5 years there. In 4 years, if this dynasty league is a great league and is still up and running, Gensel, I don't know what he's going to be doing at age 35, but Keller should still be in his prime. So just for that, yeah, I think both are similar right now. So I'm going Keller.
I think it's sad that like I can't remember people's names that I talked to like 2 days ago, but I remember the age of a NHL player. So it might be a problem, but I digress. Trade number 6, we're giving away JT Miller and Nazem Kadri, and we're receiving Artemi Panarin. This is a points league submitted by Draisaitl.
Yeah. And he didn't really give the point setup, but I'm gonna assume, classic APL.
So I give this one an A. I think with JT Miller being injured, it just makes more sense. I mean, Panarin is the best player in the deal. I still think he has the most to give on that Rangers team. He's really the focal point. He had 2 goals the other day and then won it in the shootout after returning from being ill. I don't know what to make of JT Miller this season. I'm kind of down on him, even as a buy low. Like, I mean, if you're expecting him to be, like a 55 to 60 point player with great periffs and a great playoff schedule, great, kind of value him at that. And then Nazem Kadri, again, we don't know what's going to happen with him with the Flames, if they're going to try and deal him or what's going to happen. He, I think, is a bit older as well, like 35. He's been performing of late, but I still don't value him really as a true high-end piece in fantasy hockey. So I think those 2 players to give up for Panarin, I definitely would do and be happy about it.
All right. I'm giving this one a B. I'm still on the JT Miller train. All right. You're going to see when he returns to injury in that fantasy week, he's going to get a point per game, and we're going to revisit things, and we're going to be like, okay, point per game, JT Miller is back. Book it. You heard it here first. He will have a 75-point pace when he comes back for the rest of the season. And I would still do this trade. I'm taking Panarin. Panarin's the main guy in New York, and I'm still targeting New York, even as dreadful as New York has been for that playoff schedule. So giving this one a B. All right. Our trade 7 over here. It's a big one. We're gonna have a lot to deal with here. we're doing a segment just for this trade, and it's called Dynasty Decisions. So this one was submitted by Yoshi. Yosh is Woolly Warm. Interesting. Welcome, Yosh is Woolly Warm. Thank you for the trade. This is a dynasty league, which means you're keeping all your players forever. So we have some very interesting dynasty decisions to make. Some scoring is on the YouTube if you are watching. There's a whole bunch of points set up here. I'm not going to go over them all, but it is interesting. I will just say that assists are worth more than power play assists are worth more than power play goals, which is an interesting thing. That's really the biggest thing that stands out here for me. Otherwise, I think it's pretty standard points. But we are giving away Alexander Barkov, Julius Miettinen, who is having a great year so far as a prospect, and Medvedev, the goalie on Vancouver, the goalie prospect on Vancouver, and a first-round pick in 2027. So that would be 2 years down the line, and we're receiving Tage Thompson. So that is one of the trades that is submitted and accepted, and we have a second one here where he got Willie Nylander as well. So he is loading up to win this league right now or over the next few years. He gave up Chris Kreider, Caleb Desnoyers, Connor Garland, and Carter Hart. I'll go back to that slide, but right now I'm giving this an A. I just think that in a dynasty league, if you can go for the win, you can evaluate your team. And if you think you can win the championship, you got to do everything you can to do so. You have a good prospect in Miettinen. You have a good goalie prospect in Medvedev. And then you have Alex Barkov, who's just sitting on your IR. So in my opinion, Tage Thompson, even with the first round pick there, it's a slam dunk to go for the win right now. And then I think that second trade is just an absolute steal. Willie Nylander, for all those players like Kreider, Garland, Hart. Nothing is really like yelling at me like I need to keep these players in a dynasty league. They're just doing some things right now, and next year they might just be on waivers, even in a super deep dynasty league. And then Caleb Desnoyers, yeah, give me Willie Nylander all day. So I'm giving this an A. Evan?
Yeah, A. Same thing, both trades. I mean, Tage Thompson and Willie Nylander, like in any dynasty format, if you can get them for what you're giving up here, like it's, as you said, a slam dunk. Really nothing to add. It's a congratulations to Yosh is Willie Warm is what it is.
Nice. All right. Trade number 8. We have an APL league or APL-like points, but also we have face-off wins for 0.1, and defensemen get an extra point for their points. And we are giving away the top defenseman, Cale Makar. We're also giving away Elias Lindholm and Mika Zibanejad. And we are receiving Sidney Crosby, Matthew Schaefer, and Cutter Gauthier. Evan.
So this was in my league, and the manager who was receiving Crosby, I desperately tried to tell him not to accept this, as I felt it was, when you're giving away Cale Makar and the best defenseman, the rationale was Makar wasn't producing enough for him right now, and he needed to shake up his team. And I tried to tell him to keep Makar. I just think that when you give up Makar, you've got to get more than just Sidney Crosby back. And I really do like Matthew Schaefer, but he's not going to give you the 70-point plus, value of a defenseman this year, especially on the Islanders, who are now riddled with injuries. And then Cutter Gauthier I like too, but I still think the best part of Cutter Gauthier's season is now behind him. I don't think, he's going to continue pacing at what he was at the early point of the year. I still think he's going to get 40 goals, 70 points. But I just think that too, like Elias Lindholm and Zibanejad aren't nothing. Like I think Zibanejad I would consider, roughly close to value in Cutter Gauthier, especially with that playoff schedule. And then Elias Lindholm's been doing really good stuff, like an assist per game while providing periffs for Boston. So, I think that if you're giving away Makar, you got to get more back in value here. So that's kind of why I view it this way.
Wow. Big F. Is that the first F of trade talks?
No. I think you've given an F. I think you were the harsher grader. I think there's been a few Fs.
All right. Yeah. I need receipts. I don't remember giving any Fs, anyone. So, all right. Ryan's ruling here. I'm giving this one a C. I don't think it's as bad as you make it sound to be. Yes, I would not do this trade. I think it would be a bad trade for whoever's getting the Crosby side. But I could see this trade, going through in a league and being okay. I don't think it would ruin any league integrity or anything like that. Schaefer, like he has a lot of skill, and maybe like a second half surge could be incoming, and maybe that's what this manager is looking for. He's like, yeah, I've met Cale Makar and I've been watching Matthew Schaefer. Matthew Schaefer is going to be Cale Makar for the second half of the season. I don't think that's going to happen. But really, you're downgrading the top defenseman in the league to maybe like the 10th best defenseman the rest of the way in Matthew Schaefer. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe he's top 15, but I think it's safe to be excited for Matthew Schaefer. And then you're getting Cutter Gauthier and Sidney Crosby, who are top 30 to 40 players for Zibanejad and Lindholm, who, in my opinion, are Zibanejad more so I would keep as like a top 80 player, but Lindholm, I think you'll find him on waivers throughout the season. So I just don't think it's that unfair, but I wouldn't do it. It's not an F.
Fair. And maybe I harshly graded it. I guess I could have given it a D plus or a C minus. I think it's just more of the personal stuff behind it, the logic.
Who's getting Makar? Is it the guy who's second place or right behind you or something?
You nailed it, buddy. Adding to his crop of already an unbelievable team, Jason Robertson, amongst many others. So yeah, I think that might put him over the top to win this year.
Nice. All right. Alrighty, so we have a new segment. It's sort of a would you rather, but in this segment, Evan, we're going to be giving either some presents or a bag of coal to each player, and you have to give the coal to someone, and you have to give the presents to someone. Both these guys might be deserving of presents, but one of these guys are getting a bag of coal. So this who would you rather battle is between Matt Boldy and Martin Necas. So Evan, who are you going to give the bag of coal to, and who are you going to give the presents to?
This is a really hard one because I love both of these players, but if I'm Santa and I have to decide, I think you have to go giving the presents to Marty Necas and giving the coal to Matt Boldy. I'd love to hear your Santa gift giving before I even dive into this now.
All right, sure thing. I'm giving the coal as much as he deserves some presents. Martin Necas, you're getting the bag of coal, and Matt Boldy, you deserve all the presents in the world. I believe Matt Boldy has taken another step as a superstar in the league, and you might be looking at this and be like, Marty Necas, 110 point pace, Matt Boldy, 90 point pace, but Boldy is the goal scorer and the shooter here, and in most leagues that is more valuable. And just looking deep at their underlying metrics, their per 60 rates, Marty Necas, he's on Colorado now, and all of a sudden he's not the main guy doing things on his line anymore, which is great for him. He's playing with Nathan MacKinnon, but his shot rate is down at even strength, and on the power play, he's not shooting the puck as much. He's relying on a super high shooting percentage, which all of this can be sustainable when you're playing with Nathan MacKinnon, but it is just a little bit of risk as a red flag for me in terms of keeping up 110 point pace. Whereas Matt Boldy, he is actually taking a step. Yeah, he has a high shooting percentage as well, but I think we've all been expecting Matt Boldy to take this step into finishing better with all of these chances that he's giving himself, and his scoring chances are up, his high danger chances are up, his on ice expected goals are up, as well as scoring chances. So Matt Boldy for me, I think rest of the way, I'm giving the presents to Matt Boldy, and I think Matt Boldy will outperform Marty Nietzsche in, let's say standard APL points leagues.
Dang, that's crazy. I think it's going to be close. I just like to reiterate one of your first points, which is that Marty Nikas is on a 110-point pace and Matt Boldy is on a 95-point pace. That's a 15-point difference, Ryan. That's a fair amount of points to make up. So I think I agree with you individually. Matt Boldy is generating more for himself and shooting the puck more. Did you happen to watch the Colorado versus Minnesota game? Because I think that may have answered some questions for you as well. Colorado. Let me ask you. I'll follow up that question with another question. This is just a quick. Who would you rather, Nathan McKinnon or Joel Eriksson?
Yeah, give me Nathan McKinnon.
Cale Makar or Quinn Hughes?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Cale Makar.
So one of these players is playing with those two players that you just mentioned you'd rather have them play with, which is probably a large part of the reason that he is on this 110-point pace. But interestingly, as we've known, Colorado's power play has been pretty abysmal compared to the amount of goals they're scoring at even strength. So I think Marty Nikas has more to give on the power play as well, which would even further boost his point pace, which is even crazier to think. The addition of Quinn Hughes definitely boosts Matt Boldy as well, the entire Minnesota Wild. I think realistically, you can't go wrong with either of these players. If either of them were under my tree, I would be super happy. So I think that, you can't go wrong. I really I want some way to have both of these guys on my team in every spot.
Yeah. And right now, Nietzsche, even with all those great things, Nietzsche is getting 7.36 fantasy APL points per game. And Boldy is getting more than that in 7.61. And in my opinion, Boldy just got his Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. And Boldy has somewhat of an Nathan McKinnon and Kirill Kaprizov. He went and got his Cale Makar and Kirill Kaprizov at the thrift store, but he still has them. So I'm liking Matt Boldy here.
Yeah, no, they're both great. Honestly, got one last comment here. Chelly, the guitarist, how would you grade trading away DeBrincat for Keller head-to-head points? That's an interesting one. That's harder because of what DeBrincat is doing with his shot rates and his goal scoring. I'd say it's pretty even. I guess it just depends. I mean, man, I'd probably take DeBrincat, to be honest with you, Ryan.
Yeah, I think for me it depends on the setup. I do think that DeBrincat's like almost 4 shots per game are not gonna be sustainable all season. He averaged 3 last year, 2.9 the year before, 3.2 the year before, and I don't see it averaging 4 shots a game. So I think his shots will come down a bit, as will the goals. But if it's like literally points, like head to head, just straight points, yeah, I might go Keller. I might take that trade. But any other league that values goals more than assists, like most point setups, I would take DeBrincat.
There you go.
All right. Well, if you're not in the Discord community, get in there, because that's where we talk about all these trades. We want you to submit the trades for us to review on this episode. And please do and rate and review all of these episodes. It really does good things. And make sure to subscribe, provide some comments. If you're on YouTube and you put a comment, I believe it's Nate or Blake or maybe us, all the comments get, I shouldn't guarantee that, but lots of the comments get replied to. So please comment. But that is all that we have for this episode. Hopefully it brought you some value and helped you get a little bit better at fantasy hockey today. Many thanks to Matt Creamer for supplying the music for the podcast. Thanks for listening. Now go crush your fantasy hockey leagues.